YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to Paul's Wrath. My name is JD, and today we're going to do our playthrough of Pokemon Blue to figure out who the best rock-type Pokemon is in Generation 1 Pokemon Blue. We've played through with 4 Pokemon so far. We played through with Kabutops, Omastar, Golem, and last week we played through with Rhydon. Recommend you go check those videos out. Today we're going to play through with the next Pokemon on the challenge, and that is Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl has some really good stats. Let's go over those real quick. HP is 80, attack is 105, defense is 65, speed is 130, and special is 60. Stats across the board, pretty solid. Our worst stat is special, but we don't really get any special moves anyway except for Fire Blast, so that's not a big deal. Everything's great. The problem with this Pokemon is its move pool. Move pool in Generation 1 is really bad. It doesn't have any stab moves. It has, let me rephrase that. It doesn't have any rock stab moves, which would be very helpful. It doesn't get access to Rock Slide, a whole bunch of stuff. It's just a garbage move set for this Pokemon. It really gets hosed. But let's dive into the playthrough, and we'll talk about more of this as we play through. And we're going to face our rival. Rival's name is Like and Sub. We gave him a Squirtle. We are rock type. It's a water type, makes sense. And we named Aerodactyl Dak. We're going to go ahead and use Wing Attack. It's going to be a 4-hit knockout. Very good. Get the win over our rival. We do start out with Agility, which is nice because we can badge boost. But as we progress through the game, we're going to talk a little bit more about some things. So first off, I was wrong in last week's video when I said Rhydon was the only Pokemon in this challenge with the slow level up rate. This Pokemon also has the slow level up rate, which is fine because, you know, it doesn't really matter when it comes to levels with this Pokemon because what's going to matter is how bad our move pool is. That's going to be the biggest hindrance. Levels aren't the hindrance for this Pokemon. We do start out with Wing Attack. It is a stab move. It is very good in the early game and the mid game, but it really paces itself out near the middle. If this was Generation 2's Wing Attack, it'd probably be played through all the way to the end because Generation 2's Wing Attack is like 60 or 65 base power, whereas Wing Attack in Gen 1 is only 35. So we are leveling up pretty nice, and we got the rock flying type, which means we are weak to a handful of things. But before I talk about that, I was going to talk about our rival battle. Second rival battle of the game, he's going to lead out with a Pidgey and then a Squirtle. Pidgey is a problem because it can go for Sand Attack, Wing Attack, there's going to be about a 3-hit. You'd think being a rock type Pokemon, if we had like even Rock Throw right here, would be nice. But we get Sand Attack to Oblivion, and it just takes forever to knock this Pokemon out. But as soon as once we hit it, we're going to do a lot of damage. But we're just Sand Attack, and I'm pretty sure we're like -6 on accuracy. We do crit on one, so we get a 2-hit knockout technically. And now we just got to hit the Squirtle. And Squirtle's got Bubble. Bubble's a problem. We are weak to Bubble. This is the only starter that actually gets a stab move in this battle. So that's unfortunate for us. But as soon as it goes for Bubble, we're going to get a really lucky hit here. Really lucky. We edge out this battle with 1 hit point. We level up and go to 4 hit points. Very close battle. Closer than I'd like it to be. But we're going to move right on and face this last bug catcher. And then we're going to progress on through the rest of the game. We do crit a lot with this Pokemon, 25.39% of the time, because this is one of the fastest Pokemon in the game. Excellent. And like I said earlier, we have Agility. Agility after we beat Brock's Gym. Once we use Agility, it ups your speed, but there's a thing called the Badge Boost Glitch. The Badge Boost Glitch means whenever we up our speed, or any stat I should say, any stat with a corresponding badge will go up by 12.5%. And in this case, once we beat Brock, our attack stat goes up 12.5%. So it's going to be very useful and helpful throughout the course of the game. We'll keep this move all the way through the game. We beat the Million Light Years trainer. I didn't want to talk about him very much because it's pretty trivial. And now we move on to Brock. We were only level 12, so we were matching the Geodude and we were lower than the Onix. But we will outspeed both of these Pokemon. We'll obliterate them on the speed department. And really with the Geodude, you don't want to waste any time. Just go for Broke, go for Wing Attack. We're going to crit a decent amount of times, so eventually we're going to outpace him. Like what just happened there. See how much damage that was? It was probably like, what, 20% probably with that Wing Attack. And once we crit again, we'll knock him out, but we're not going to take that much damage. It only has normal moves, and with normal moves, we're not going to take a lot of damage because, again, we are rock type. Even though we don't have a great defense, it is still a rock type, so we're resisted to normal moves. And right now, Agility really helps us against Onix because Onix plays the Bide game. If you don't know what Bide game is, he uses Bide, and whenever we do to him over the next 2 to 3 turns, he'll deal back to us double. And when that happens, what you want to do is go for a move that doesn't do any damage, like Agility, like Leer, things like that. And in this case, Agility is the move we're using. And then when Bide's done, we can go ahead and go for Wing Attack. It's really nice when you outspeed him, because if you don't outspeed, he does Bide, and then you attack into it, he does deal back some damage. But we're able to control this battle, and look at our hit points. We're at 34 hit points. We almost got Onix completely knocked out. What would be smart for Onix here to do is actually go for Screech and just go for Tackle and lower our defense. It's not very high, like I said, but we get a pretty easy win. We probably come in this at a lower level, to be honest with you. We could probably avoid couple extra battles and then come in lower level, but we're going to move right on to Mount Moon, and in Mount Moon we're going to fight this guy. He's a super duper nerd. He needs protecting his fossils. We're going to go for Wing Attack on the Grimer. It's a 2-shot, very good. Voltorb comes out, and it's a 2-shot on the Voltorb, very good. And then Coughing's going to come out as the final Pokemon. Should be a 2-shot as well, maybe a 3-shot. Nope, it's going to be a 2-shot. We get the right range. Now you're not going to see this here, but I do heal. That way we don't take any damage. I just don't show the menuing. And then we're going to grab the Dome Fossil, all hail the Dome Fossil, and we're going to move right on to Nugget Bridge. I know if I didn't tell you, you're going to ask. Actually, I think we'll go ahead and ask. Comments are great for the YouTube algorithm. Shout out to my dry bread. We're going into our third rival battle on Nugget Bridge. We go for Agility. It's going to up our attack stat by a couple stages. We can do that up to 3 times because Agility ups your speed by 2 stages. So you can only go +6, but we can up our other stats around it up 3 times. Wing Attack is a 1-shot on the Abra. Wing Attack will be a 1-shot on the Rattata. Is it a 1-shot on the Squirtle? I doubt it. Squirtle's pretty bulky. Water Gun does a lot of damage, so without using Agility, we probably could have lost that battle. I don't like leaving things to chance. I like getting it done, and we're going to move right on and face Misty. There wasn't really anything to showcase when it comes to, there's no moves to grab or anything, like maybe this Pokemon could learn Seismic Toss, that'd be nice, but it doesn't. So we just move right on the Misty, and Misty is going to be a problem because we are weak to her moves, and we get a 2-shot on the Staryu, but we're not going to survive anything from the Starmie. The only thing we could hope for is we get a critical hit and like that, but it didn't do enough damage, so we lose. And we're going to go ahead and face Misty one more time. And with this being said, that's our first reset of the game, and we're going to face Misty again, and it's going to be the same result. There's not much we can do here. Maybe just go for broke and hope for critical hits without wasting turns on the Staryu. That's the only thing I can think of, but we just not doing enough damage. And Staryu's not exactly a bulky Pokemon, so we get +3, and that's doing a little bit more damage. So crit right here would have knocked it out, but we didn't get it. And you just don't want to sit there and try to hope for that RNG. So we're going to move on and get a couple extra levels and come back. And now we're facing our 4th rival battle on the SSN. Comes out with the Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto goes down to 2 wing attacks. We don't want him to go for Sand Attack. We're going to set up on the Raticate. It's only got normal moves, so it's not going to do that much damage to us. We get +2 on the speed and +2 on the attack. So we're able to knock it out, or knock out the Dabra. And War Turtle, is it a 1-shot? It is not. Going for Bubble rather than Water Gun. Don't know why you do that. But we get the win, and we get a level up, and we beat our rival. And we're going to move right on back to Misty. Misty is going to be another battle, and we'll see if we take any more resets here. But Misty, we are a couple levels higher. We've gone over damage rounding threshold, so that should help us out. Go for Agility twice, Agility 3 times. Nope, we're not going to do it 3 times. We're going to do it twice, and it's enough to 1-shot the Staryu. And it puts Starmie into 2-shot range. Is it a knockout? It is not. However, we get a little bit of good RNG. Goes for X Defend. We beat Misty and move right on. To Rock Tunnel, we're going to showcase the battle against Boomer the Hiker. Now, I show this in every video for a reason. Sometimes this trainer, this battle is absolutely trivial and you don't have to do it. But in some cases, like this case, this battle is extremely difficult because we don't have great moves for this trainer. We have Wing Attack, which all of his Pokemon are Rock type. We have Agility, which will do the badge boost and, up our stats. However, it doesn't matter when Wing Attack is resisted, and all of his Pokemon have Rock Throw, and they also all have Self-Destruct. Self-Destruct's actually probably the best case scenario. If they all 3 went for Self-Destruct, I'm pretty sure I would survive that because I'm Rock type and I'm resisted. However, they don't. They go for Defense Curl, and they go for Self-Destruct, and so if I have to rely on me knocking them out with Wing Attack, it takes forever, and they just do too much damage to me, and eventually a couple of them, maybe one of them, maybe all 3 of them explode, and then knock me out. And even if I knock them out, I technically do have other Pokemon in my bag because they're my HM Mules, but I still lose the battle. So it is what it is, and I have to keep facing this battle over and over and over again. So we end up taking 2 resets, and then we're going to face this battle again. Now, what might not have been a bad idea is actually go face Lieutenant Surge. I'm going to pause this for a second. It doesn't make sense usually to go to Misty or Misty's area, go all the way to the SSN, face our rival on the SSN and grab Cut, and then go back and face Misty, and then go back to the same town and face Lieutenant Surge, and then go through Rock Tunnel. It doesn't make sense to usually do that. This might be an example where it might not be a bad idea, because then I'll get the badge boost from defense, and that might help out in this battle. So that's something I will consider in the next playthrough, whenever I do my second round playthrough of this Pokemon. But now, I think we're in the battle we actually win. Goes for Self-Destruct. We do hang on with 8 hit points, so we'll take it, we'll take the win, we'll progress right on. You can't skip them either. You have to fight that battle with them, so it is what it is. Move on to Lieutenant Surge. Lieutenant Surge is usually a not great trainer. We are kind of a high level for this battle. We're at level 28. We're going to go for Agility and get fully set up, and now we should be able to go for Swift and 1-shot everything. We did add some moves. We finally have some extra moves, Swift and Fly. And like I said, this would be amazing if this Pokemon actually had access to good moves, like Rock Slide, for example. That would have been a great move to have in this battle. However, we don't. A couple things. We actually face the Karate Dojo, and we face every trainer in this gym because they're easy 1-hit knockouts, and we're in a slow level rate anyway, so I'm like, whatever, we need the level, let's do it. and Fly is going to one-shot the Victory Bell. I should just gone for Fly here, and I don't know why I went for Swift. I should just gone for Fly, but Wing Attack and Swift will two hit the Tangela, and we're going to go for Fly on the Vileplume. So we get a pretty easy win over Erica, and then we're going to progress from here right on to Giovanni number 1. Giovanni number 1 is going to come out, and he is also a difficult battle, because Giovanni number 1 has Rock-type Pokemon, and we don't have great moves for that. That's why I added Dragon Rage. Now I run out of power points for Dragon Rage, so now I got to rely on upping my stats and using Fly or Swift to knock out a Rhyhorn, a Rock-type Pokemon. Fly does pretty good because of critical hit, but in a combination of Fly and in 2 Swifts, we'll knock out the Rhyhorn. It can't really do much to us, so I'm not really worried about that, but it's just annoying that I have to badge boost just to get through a minuscule Pokemon that's like way level lower than us. We beat Giovanni, he goes, I'm Batman, and vanishes, and we move right on to Pokemon Tower to face our 5th rival. Our 5th rival is going to come out with a Pidgeotto, and Pidgeotto is going to come out, and we're going to go for, what we're going to do on Pidgeotto. We're going to go for Swift. Yep, 2-hit knockout real quick, get it done. We don't want him to Sand Attack us to make this battle trivial or more interesting than it has to be. Go for Agility on the Growlithe. We do get 1 badge boost there. We're going to go for Fly on the Execute. Very good. And Cadaver's going down to 1 Fly as well. And that leaves 1 Pokemon left. That is Wartortle. And we'll go for Swift on the Wartortle. It's going to be a 2-hit knockout. Dragon Rage with Swift and Dragon Rage is the knockout. Dragon Rage actually helps a lot with the Ghost Pokemon because they're all 2 hits. And that leads us right into our next battle, which is against Koga. We have nothing good for Koga. Koga is not a Pokemon that I'm excited, or a trainer that I'm excited to face, because we have nothing great for it. Now, what I should have done here is not have Bite. I should have kept Swift. It's the same power, but Swift will actually power through all the smoke screens we just got, and the badge boost will help apply to it. And it's just a battle of attrition right here. We get poisoned. So if we just knock out the Pokemon, we don't take poison damage, but the problem is we also have our accuracy lowered, so we're poisoned. We have a little accuracy. Our HP is really nice right now at 69, very nice. And if we just hit, we one-shot. On the Coughing, very good. And now Wheezing comes out, and we just hit the Wheezing. If we just hit the Wheezing, it self-destructs, we'll take the win. 1 hit point. We are poisoned with 1 hit point. Now, that will take the win, because we've had some struggles with other battles, and we're going to have struggles later in this battle, so we'll take the win when we get it. A little bit of RNG never hurts. And that leads us right into our next battle, which is going to be against Blaine. Now, Blaine is a fire specialist. We have really no problem in this gym whatsoever. And we're going to go for a setup, and we're going to go for Fly. 1-shot the Growlithe, very good. 1-shot the Ponyta. Rapidash comes out. It's not going to be a 1-shot. It's a little bit bulky, but we do get a 2-hit knockout combined with Bite. And we just lost all of our badge boosts. However, we're going to go for Fly on the Arcanine. It's going to be a 2-shot. We get a critical hit. Do we critical hit again? We do. Knock out Arcanine. We beat Blaine. Pretty easy win. And we're going to move right on to our next battle, which is going to be against our rival in Silphco. Rival in Silphco, usually it's one of the more difficult rivals, rival number 6, and he leads out with a Pidgeot. Pidgeot still has Sand Attack, so I don't know why I'm going for Agility here, but, you know, I thought I'd go for Agility, set up, and then hopefully I can sweep this whole team. What we're going to do here, Fly, 1-shot on the, nope, not going to be a 1-shot on the Pidgeot, it's going to be a 2-shot. 1 more Agility would have made that a 1-shot. We get Leered here, so we get our defense lowered, which is actually good because it does up our stats around it, so that's good. Fly 1-shot to Execute, very good. Alakazam comes out, Fly, is it a 1? Nope, we miss because it's 95% accurate. You can get that rarely. And we crit and knock out the Alakazam. We're going to go for Bite on the Blastoise. It can't really do a lot to us because it only has weak water moves. I mean, they are water moves, so they will do enough. But it can't do a lot because only Bubble and Water Gun. And that progresses on to Giovanni number 2, Giovanni. And he's going to come out with a Nidorino. We're going to go ahead and set up on the Nidorino. He can't really do much to us. I think the worst thing you do is probably go for Poison Point. And we'll go for Bite or Fly. We're going for Fly on the Nidorino. It's a 1-shot, very good. Kangaskhan comes out, Fly on the Kangaskhan. It's a 1-shot, very good. And now we are in the part of the battle where we have nothing good here. Nothing good for the Rhyhorn. And maybe Fire Blast would be something. That'd be an example where maybe that would work because it doesn't have good special, so maybe that might be useful. But we get the win over Giovanni number 2. He goes on Batman again and vanishes. And we're going to jump right into our battle against Sabrina. Sabrina and her whip. And she comes out with a Kadabra. We really don't have a lot of problems here. We're going to go for Agility once. We do have low special, so we don't want to go for too much attacks on us. We don't want to get like a Psychic, so now we're below half health. And we get a 1-shot on the Kadabra. We get a 1-shot on the Mr. Mime. Very good. And Venomoth comes out. Fly goes for a 1-shot on the Venomoth. What we don't want here is a miss, because then we could probably get 1-shot by Alakazam. But we don't get 1-shot. We get the 1-shot done to Alakazam. Beat Sabrina. Move right on to Giovanni, number 3. Giovanni. And he leads out with a Rhyhorn. Now, Rhyhorn will be a difficult Pokemon to knock out. and we're going to go ahead and go for agility. And agility is going to boost our stats. And the reason why we're doing this right now is it's going to boost our stats and make it so we can maybe knock out Rhyhorn in a decent amount of turns. Even though it's resisted to us, it hits us. Our defense is pretty solid. It doesn't do that much damage. Looks like it's going to be about a 3-shot. We'll take the 3-shot knockout. Very, very nice. And now Dugtrio comes out. We're going to go for Dig on the Dugtrio. Dugtrio can't really do much to us because Dugtrio is a ground type Pokemon. So all he has to hit us with is Slash and I guess Growl. He hit us with Growl, so we're not doing as much damage. We're going to go for Dig on the Nidoqueen. It's going to be a 2-hit knockout. Very good. We Mimic Dig. I don't know if I said that or not, but we Mimic Dig. And that makes it so these Pokemon are 2-hit knockouts rather than dealing with the resisted flying move. We're going to go for Dig. Now, Diglett was a jerk and went for Growl, so our attack stat got lowered after all the boosts we had to it. It is what it is. And we're going to go for Dig on the Rhydon. We do get the win. It's kind of a more convoluted win than I would have hoped in this battle. You just go in, and I just want to take Dig and sweep the team. But it is what it is. And now we're going to move and progress right on to our final rival battle before we do Elite Four. Rival number 7, and he leads out with a Pidgeot. Now, this is the perfect Pidgeot because Pidgeot has no sand attacking moves. It has nothing other than the ability to hit us with Quick Attack and Agility. So we're going to set up for Agility, and we get +6, and that gets our stats boosted around it. And we're going to go for Fly on the Pidgeot. Come on, let's go for Fly. I don't know why we're pausing for dramatic effect here. And we'll go for Fly. I was thinking about going for Double Edge, I think is what it was. And now we're going to go for Fly on the Rhyhorn. And I was thinking about that, like what else can we do for Rhyhorn here? And we get a 3-hit knockout on the Rhyhorn. We'll take it. We took no damage from Rhyhorn. He didn't attack us at all. We went for Tail Whip one time. So now our attack stat's even higher than it was before we finished off with Rhyhorn. 1 shot on the Growlithe. 1 shot on the Execute. Is Alakazam a 1-shot? It is. At least it should be. Nope, go for Double Edge just to be safe. Knock it out. And then Blastoise comes out. It's not going to be a 1-shot. Hydro Pump almost knocks us out. Do we want to go for Double Edge and risk it? We do. We get the win. We have 13 hit points. We survive. And move on to the Elite Four. We're heading into the Elite Four. We're going to look at our stats and our moves right before we take on Lorelei. Stats first. Our stats for this Pokemon are as follows. Attack is 170, defense is 123, speed is 199, and special is 118. We look at our stats modified by the corresponding badge. Attack is 191, defense is 138, speed is 223, and special is 132. And we look at our move pool for the Elite Four. I don't think it's going to change. Fly, Hyper Beam, Agility, and Mimic. This is the moveset we're going to go with, and we're going to move right on and take on Lorelei. Now, Lorelei is a problem, because Lorelei is Ice-type. And Ice-type Pokemon, we are weak to. We're weak in 2 ways. We're weak by the Rock-type and Flying-type, so it's not fun. We're going to go for Fly on the Dugong. We don't knock it out, and what we want is Dugong to go for Rest so we can set up. We're going to go for Agility, number 1, and we're going to go for Fly again, knock it out, and then Cloyster comes out. And it's not going to be a successful battle here. We get knocked out, and we take our 6th reset of the game. And we're going to face on Lorelei one more time. And we're going to go for Fly. And what we want is that. That's what we want. That's the RNG we want. We want the computer to go ahead and rest so that we can get a couple setups in. And we're going to not one-shot the Cloyster, but we're going to get close and does no damage to us. So we go into the Slowbro perfectly where we want. We're going to go for Mimic and Mimic Amnesia. Amnesia is going to up our special, but it's also going to up the stats around it. So as you see, as we do Amnesia, it ups attack and it ups everything else around it. And what we should do here is go for 1 more Agility. We're not taking that much damage. Our special is very high, so we're not going to take a lot of damage. Ice Punch does nothing to us, and here's the problem. Ice Punch can freeze us, and now the battle is over. So that was everything we wanted to happen. However, we just didn't get enough done to get the knockout. So now we have to start over again and hope for the same kind of RNG. And we just got hit, and we got to recharge. We should have enough to knock out after this Fly. Very good. Now, the problem is I don't think we're going to knock out the Cloyster. We'll go for Hyper Beam on the Cloyster, and he's going to hit us twice, and we're just so low health. I might as well just take a reset at this point, and we're going to take another reset. So that's reset number 8 in this playthrough. Fly on the Dugong. Go for Sleep. Perfect. Agility 1. Agility 2. Knock the Pokemon out. Knock the Pokemon out. Hyper Beam. Knockout. Very good. Critical hit. Don't think it mattered. I think it would have knocked out regardless. And then Fly on the Cloyster. Goes for Aurora Beam. I'm not too worried about Cloyster going for Aurora Beam. That's fine. Get to the Slowbro and finish setting up. We'll go for Agility on the Slowbro. The Agility 1. And now we're going to go for Fly and knock. Nope. I don't know why we're not going for the setup here. I do not know why. And I do this sometimes when I play my videos. I watch it in retrospect. I'm like, why are you doing this? You need to go for setup. You got to make sure you can knock out the other Pokemon because you cannot take ice moves. You cannot take hits from ice moves. Hyper Beam does one-shot the Jinx, very good. Lapras comes out, it doesn't one-shot. Critical Hit probably costs us that win right there, because Critical Hit isn't as powerful as the stats it skips over stat modifications, let me rephrase that. And so now Fly, it's not doing the thing we want, doesn't go for Rest, so we don't get set up, and this is probably going to be another reset. We go for Fly on the Cloyster, we don't get the knockout, and we're going to take another reset. I just know the writing's on the wall when it comes to that. So at reset number 10, go for Fly on the Dugong. It doesn't go for, why is it not going for Rest? It is what it is, but it puts it in healing range. And really, if I don't get the Rest, I should just restart anyway, save my time. We went into this battle around like an hour and 1 minute, an hour and 6 minutes, because we keep getting this just the worst luck possible. Now we're going for Withdrawal, which is the wrong move, because if he goes for Water Gun, it's going to do a lot of damage. If you go for Amnesia, Amnesia ups your special, and that means your special defense is high, so Water Gun does no damage. And we go for, yep, we don't get the knockout, we get a miss there. So I think this is the one that happens and it's correct, the one that gets the win. We get the RNG we want, we goes for Rest, very good, Agility 2, and we're going to knock out with Hyper Beam, very good. Question is, do we knock out Cloyster? Cloyster, it's not a one-shot. Critical hits are really screwing me over here, because it's critical hits, skip over all this stat modification, does less damage, and we're going to go ahead and hit Fly on the Slowbro, which goes for its defense. We're going to go ahead and get Amnesia. Let's get fully set up, come on. 1, 2 Amnesias, 3 Amnesias, and go for one more with Agility, very good. So now, we're going to go for Hyper Beam, knock out the Slowbro. Jinx comes out, do we one-shot the Jinx? We do. I'm pretty sure if we just hit the Hyper Beam, we get the win, we get the knockout over Lapras. We finally beat Lorelei and move right on to Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much with this Pokemon. He's not going to do too much to us. The worst thing about him is he has Onyxes, and we're going to have to set up and just take a lot of time to knock out the Onyxes anyway. It is what it is. What we can do, though, and what we're going to do, is mimic a move off the Hitmonchan, and that's going to help us take out the second Onyx. So that'll speed this up a little bit. We're going to go for Fly now. Nope, we're going to miss. And we're going to miss again. And that's 2 back-to-back, 95% accurate moves missing. That's the odds of that are astronomical. But we get Fly, and Fly is going to be very gradually knocking this Pokemon out. It's going to take forever, but we eventually will do it. He doesn't heal. At least I don't remember him ever healing. So we get the knockout, and now Hitmonchan. We're going to mimic Ice Punch. The best thing he could do now is go for Ice Punch and freeze me. But we're going to go ahead and go for Fly, knock out Hitmonchan. Very good. Oh, no, we're not. How'd it hang on by that? We're boosted, man. No, we just hit our... Never mind, we just leveled up, so we lost all of our badge boost. We go for Ice Punch on the Onix. Very good. And the last Pokemon is Machamp. We go for Fly. Is it a one-shot on the Machamp? It is not. However, go for another one. Get the second hit. 2-hit knockout. A Toko, as I like to say. Beat Bruno and move right on to Agatha. Now, Agatha is not great here, and we don't have a great move for Agatha. And what we're going to do is we're going to mimic Hypnosis, and hopefully that's going to let us set up. That's the whole point of it. Hypnosis, we use Hypnosis, put it to sleep, come on. We're going to go for Agility now. Agility 1, Agility 2, and Agility 3. Like I said, we don't have a great move, so Fly is our best option. It's a one-shot critical hit, don't know if that mattered or not. We can go for Hyper Beam if we just hit it, and now we lost all of our badge boosts, so we got to go for Hypnosis. We're going to go for Hypnosis, we're going to set up again. And this is what you don't like, is I think we're going to get a reset here, and this is what you don't like. I don't like it when you have a battle it takes forever to do, and then you still end up losing because it takes so much time. We're going to go for Agility, and one more Agility. Come on, Hypnosis. One more Agility, get fully set up again. And we're going to go for Fly or Hyper Beam. We go for Agility on accident. And we go for Fly. It's a one-shot on the Haunter, very good. And we go for Fly on the Golbat. We are confused now, that's awesome. Goes for Haze again, removing all of our badge boosts. And so now we have the Arbok. We go for Fly on the Arbok. It's going to be a 2-hit. And we don't have a lot of health left, so it's not going to be great. Go for Agility 1. And Fly on the Gengar. It's not going to be a one-shot. Fly again. And all we got to do is hit it. All we got to do is hit it. And we get a very convoluted, it's a win. It is what it is, but it was not the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to set up and sweep, and it just was not the case. So we move right on to Lance. Now, Lance is a problem because Gyarados will go for Hydro Pump every stinking time. And this is why we want to get to as high level as possible, because we need to be able to one-shot this Pokemon. So we're going to take a reset. We're at 12 resets at this point in the game. We're going to go for Agility. And what we want is Hyper Beam the miss, Hydro Beam the miss. Hydro Pump, not Hydro Beam. Hydro Pump the miss. And then we can go for a one-hit knockout after we've set up a little bit. So we do get a one-hit knockout with Hyper Beam. And then we move on to the Dragonair, and what we're going to do is set up on the Dragonair. We're going to mimic Hyper Beam. That way we have more power points when it comes to Hyper Beam. We're going to take it. Very good. And we're going to go ahead and go for one more setup. One more setup. Come on. We're going to double Hyper Beam with this Pokemon. And you can probably see already what the problem is with this battle. As long as you hit, we're going to knock out everything except for the Aerodactyl. It's going to resist us. Actually, critical hit probably costs us that battle. This is where critical hits are horrible. Is when you need certain ranges that the badge boost gives you. Critical hits just skip over all the stat modifications and really can screw you over. And we're going to go for Hyper Beam and knock out the Gyarados. It's a 2-hit knockout. We're going to go for Agility. Actually, we're going to go for Rest. Rest gives us the ability to recover our health. It's not going to do that much damage to us anyway. And once we wake up and go for one more Agility. I'm sorry, we're going to go for Agility, and then we're going to do 3 of them. Now we're fully set up. Then we go for Hyper Beam on the Dragonair, Hyper Beam on the second Dragonair as soon as we hit it. Very good. And then the last Pokemon is Aerodactyl. I'm sorry, not the last Pokemon. Aerodactyl is the second to last Pokemon. It's the penultimate Pokemon. There we go. And we get to knock out over Aerodactyl. And I'm not in any way worried about Dragonite. He can't do much to us. We go for Hyper Beam, get the knockout, get the win. Overlands only took 2 resets there. That wasn't as bad as it could have been. And that moves us right on to the champion, our rival number 8. And he leads out with a Pidgeot. Pidgeot, like I said, is a great Pokemon to set up on. We're going to go for Agility. He's going to go for Mirror Move and do Agility as well. He's going to go for Wing Attack. It doesn't do anything to us. And he's setting up to go for Sky Attack, and we're just not going to let him do that just in case he gets like a crit or something. So we get the knockout and go for Fly on the Alakazam. It goes for Reflect. We do crit there, but that's a good time to crit because it skips over his defense of Reflect. And we're going to go ahead and go for Hyper Beam on the Rhydon. Wouldn't be the worst thing here for him to hit Leers. It does do the badge boost a little bit more, or Tail Whip. That'll work too. And it'll up our attack stat just a little bit more. Leer one more time. And we need Rhydon. We have one more. What we should have done maybe is keep Mimic and possibly Mimic like Psychic off of Alakazam to make that easier. However, Rhydon still can't do anything to us anyway, so it's okay. We knock out the Arcanine. We knock out the Executor. We Hyper Beam the Blastoise. We get the win. We get the knockout over our rival. And we're going to move right on and get our time locked in. So at 1 hour and 14 minutes and 26 seconds, we lock our time in. 13 resets at level 63. This Pokemon, it's like I said, it's not a bad Pokemon when you look at its stats. Its stats are amazing. For what it is, it's pretty good. It's probably got the lowest stats for a rock-type Pokemon, to be honest, so that's probably one of its downsides. And its special is garbage, but who cares? The special doesn't matter in Generation 1. Special, it does matter in Generation 1. It doesn't matter for this Pokemon in Generation 1 because it gets no special moves that we use. So our attack is good, our speed is good, our HP was pretty solid. So those things are nice. Well, let's go ahead and look at the tier list and see where this Pokemon ranks. So with a playthrough time of 1 hour and 14 minutes and some seconds, this Pokemon lands right in the F tier, right next to Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan is going to be moved, so Hitmonchan will be moved over, and do I think that this Pokemon will be in the F tier much longer? No. I think on our second playthrough, we are very clearly going to get this Pokemon moved, and that's definitely going to happen, and he's going to get moved up at least into the E tier. I don't know if he's going to get into the D tier, I doubt it, but he can at least get into the E tier. There's a lot of resets, 14 resets. That means there's a lot of RNG happening here. There's a lot of things we can improve on. We can overlevel at some point. We can get rare candies. We can just avoid battles like Misty, facing Misty twice at level 20, whatever it was, 22, 23. Took 2 resets. That probably took another minute there. So right there's a minute saved if you just progress and things like that. And then maybe not go and face Boomer the Hiker. Maybe go back and face Lieutenant Surge and then teleport back and go face Boomer the Hiker. There's a lot of things you can do to improve this. And we know what's going to work and what's not going to work with Lorelei. We know it's not going to work with Lance. So a lot of that knowledge is going to be much implemented into the next playthrough I do. Now, keep in mind, we have some other videos coming out over the next couple of days. Next week, I should say. Next Wednesday, we have our Quillfish optimized playthrough of Generation 2. We're going to take this Pokemon and give it an egg move. If you didn't see my last video, we played through just normal. But this one, we're going to give it an egg move and really put it on, up it with steroids to see how strong this Pokemon can actually be with a much better starting move. See how much time we can shave off, an hour, and I think it was an hour and 34-minute playthrough. See how good that is. And then next Friday, we have our final Rock-type Pokemon of Generation 1 that we're playing through, and that Pokemon is Onix. If you thought this playthrough was tough, Onix is going to be absolutely atrocious. It's going to be bad. Onix does not have good stats. That's the problem with Onix. It has great moves, but garbage stats. So if you ask me, would I have better moves or better stats? I think in this case, I'd say I definitely would rather have the better stats from Aerodactyl than the garbage moves from Onix. But I know what Onix is going to struggle with. I've played through all these Pokemon before, but I've never played through with the overlay and stuff, so it gives me a lot more information while I'm playing, knowing my ranges, stuff like that. So that's something I think is going to make a playthrough better. I think the last playthrough I did with Onix was over 3 hours. easily, and probably could have been a lot more if I didn't have a mercy rule where I paused it because I was thinking about strategies to win and having to go over level or whatever. So there's a lot of things that are going to be improved about Onyx, and then obviously we got second playthroughs. I'm still thinking about the next type. If you're at this point in the video and you want a certain type done, I think we have Poison, Water, Normal, and Psychic type are the 4 types left in Generation 1 that we have to do, and then we'll have a conclusion of who the best of every type is, best type, so on and so forth. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This is JD, this is Polywar's Wrath. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.